Back in Chengdu, ladies and gentlemen, and another gorgeous city here in China. A good look to OMG,
That's
but
a beautiful
unfortunately,
city.
it is.
I'm sorry, yeah, I was just
Yeah,
amazed
you're
by
right.
that, yeah.
But I say the same thing in Chongqing. I think I said it in Xi'an the other day as well.
Yes.
So the road goes on. We got some good-looking cities here. Even Shanghai, nice. That's some good stuff. Speaking of which, good stuff here from LNG in Game 1. A good victory to look back on, and one that SofM can be proud of because
Yeah.
he ran the game.
Throw it up there. Take a look at how well he was able to perform this one. So, great stuff. I only criticized the build a little bit, but the fact that he was able to perform as well, that's something you can't really knock on him. His execution was on point this one.
But you know what? That's not a love heart. He's holding money right there. He cashed in that first game, 9-1 and 6, and I know we're just going to run through as to how he got there, but
he kind of looks like the debt collector there. It's like, I'm looking for the cash. Have you seen that money? This was a good one, though. It kind of costed his life to begin with, but they come in after a mid lane kill, come up with the top lane dive. His ultimate being stolen, of course, from Irilla, gets the final kill. So these are great stuff that you see from SofM initially. This was just a great team fight overall. I mean, this was just Kennen coming in, being able to get 2 people. Great movement speed. They're actually so far ahead at this point, really didn't matter how many people Kennen ended up getting.
Yep.
You mentioned it. The Bard ultimate being able to nail down Tahm Kench, so you couldn't protect anybody in the immediate fight that resulted in that one. So that was actually just great from Bard on that fight. So the better plays was just how many ganks that came through from SofM, the early kill that he was able to get onto Jarvan in the fadeaway. So I really enjoyed how he played this game. He is definitely a Silas player.
Yeah, he's a good Silas player. And I think SofM has just been having one of his better splits. Coming into summer like this.
Well, there's reason for that.
Yeah.
The man has finally had a Robin. He's the Batman with a Robin.
Yes.
And so, like, the fact that I thought that, funny enough, I thought that him and Guoguo was a great, start to their relationship. I thought that Guoguo in his champion pool, his specific champion pool of Orianna, Galio, and Vladimir was great.
Yep.
But the problem was the fact that it was a slim one and that he was inconsistent with his performance. And so when we moved on Mala and Andy, from that point forward, he didn't find any real mid laners that he could actually have that supports him in his plays. Finally, Plex has been that savior. Coming in from Griffin, of course, from Korea. The fact that him and Plex have been working so well in tandem with each other is great news for LNG.
From day one as well. It didn't seem like there was much time that they needed to synergize together.
Yes, and so it's fun to see. Remember, the first few days is always the hardest when it comes to just overall communication and just the idea of how you want to play the game out. Hearing from the team, it is still SofM that's the main communicator for the team. He has always been. So it's fun to see that the fact that Duan, a shot caller coming in from VG Gaming, through the great history that they've had with, Dandy at that time, carrying the top lane. 2016 VG Gaming was actually pretty damn good, and Caveman was there on that side of the map. When Mata moved on towards RNG, Caveman came in, of course now known as Duan, and he's able to lead that team to a good degree of success at the time. And so now it comes on the team, and he's still taking second fiddle to SofM. So understanding the communication, the dynamic of the squad is really promising.
Taking back to the Bard here in game number 1 is some support for Plex already, of course, but let me take you to that Bard and what happened towards the end of the game, which was the setup, the constant tempered fates that enabled people like SofM to finish off the game and find these engages, and OMG was sent into a corner here.
Yeah, they're roaming as a squad. You'd love to see it happen from LNG. The fact that they're moving in as a unit to find those picks. That's what the Bard was picked for. It was getting hammered within the lane.
Yep.
But finally, when he was unchained, you got to see him running in action. Literally booking it.
Moby Boots Charms gets the works. And OMG going to require something special here in this game too. Coming back after that. No roster changes, no sub outs. It's still Yihan on your screen.
And it's about Yihan. I mean, remember, Yihan in his prior teams, and RNG when he had that few games of play when, subbing in for MLXG.
Known as Pepper back then.
When he was playing on Team WE, when he was playing on FPX. And a lot of these squads, he was a main aggressor. He was someone that started action early. The pre-planning wasn't always there, but he was always somebody that could get you an early game lead based off the activity that he had. And so I like the fact that bringing in Guoguo, now the composition, or at least the play, is around his performance.
Because OMG have so many elements to play around with. You've got, as we mentioned, 3 different junglers, Yihan, Penguin, best 16 has moved on, and who's the jungler I'm missing? World 6
Yep.
is also in there too. So there's a lot of resources that OMG can play around with, and it'll be interesting to see what their final decision, what their final roster looks like if Guoguo is going to stick around and keep playing into the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just talking about OMG in the last few years, you got to start adding, Jieko into the mix of junglers that have gone through that organization. FireLolly, who's actually casting the earlier set today, that's gone through the organization. They've been an organization that have been shedding and a lot of jungle talent, kind of finding an identity. But the problem is all those junglers, while they had their own identity within their own former teams, when they come into OMG, they play through Icon. And that was my issue. It wasn't so much that Icon was a bad player. In fact, he played well and he was a consistent force for the team, but he was always meta-warping. When the composition were heavily around Galio and supported picks, he said, no, I'm playing Cassiopeia into it, and I'm playing the assassins around it, playing LeBlanc. I could play well, and the vision control was always kind of suffering because it was more so mid lane first, then we can think about how everything else is faring around Dragon. The fact that you bring in Guoguo, it's never going to be an easy fix, right? That's never the issue. It's more so trying to find a path to a solution, because they've been a team since losing SMLZ, have been really finding struggles, and it hasn't been good since. But let's see. I mean, they're getting better and better. They've been finding great talent on their team. It's all about being able to pick up those wins. I
like the direction for OMG. They're the same team that forced IG to a Game 3, and let's see if they can do the same against LNG now, running into the pick ban.
No Mordekaiser getting banned out. For all you new viewers out there coming into this one, Mordekaiser is enabled here in the LPL.
So is Kiana, but still haven't seen that tonight either.
Yep. Remember, North America, it is disabled. Players talking about it. Frame rate issues and all that with the champion in the game. I'm not surprised. Kind of reminds me of the old Galaxy skins in which it just put a lot of stop. Or Thresh that one time. Galaxy Thresh. That skin just killed the game.
Oh, I remember.
That one was fun. But anyways, Mordekaiser is enabled, but on the bench.
Okay. For this game, we'll see. Kiana's still there, but hasn't been the priority. Of course, the Tahm Kench that we talked about.
And Lux. So it's actually up to LNG if they want to pick up the Tahm Kench or Lux. We saw an answer to the Tahm Kench being the Bard. But it looks like the Lux is going to be the priority here from LNG.
Means that Chelly can go back to that in Game 2 if he wishes now on the red side. But for OMG, what are they going to pair it with? What are they going to look for first pick priority? Because we have a lot of junglers open here in our first phase.
Yeah, and I'm not too concerned about SofM when it comes to junglers. He usually has gone to second phase and, picked the Sejuani and all of that. It's actually between both junglers. If we're talking about who has, performed the best with a specific jungler, both of them have performed really well with Olaf. They're both real career Olaf players.
Yeah.
I don't know about how it fits in now, knowing that Silas has just been such an oppressive pick coming in from Rift Rivals. We'll have to see going later on into the draft.
Already a couple of good ults that SofM can steal if he wants to go back to it. The Vanguard's Edge did work for him in Game 1, and now the option is there. 10 seconds to find out, because the Aurelia, the Tahm Kench.
You should lock it in. I would lock in the Silas. Oh.
Flande plays one mean Akali, but so does Plex.
This is finally an LNG that can flex these picks.
Yeah.
No longer do you see these picks and say, yeah, it's going to Flande 100%. But you're right. I mean, Flande would be the best Akali player. I always enjoy watching him in team fights. So it's pretty good into the Aurelia matchup. You can just follow the lane wherever it goes. So remember, you can buffer the Shroud whenever Aurelia throws her E out.
Yeah. So
whenever she tries to stun you, go into Shroud. You can completely disengage on that one. You have Electrocute, so you actually have more damage in the matchup. Caitlyn.
Okay.
Kill lane in the bot side.
We've seen this very frequently, and Lux Caitlyn has been the answer to a strong bot lane. And for Asura and Duan, that's where they want to go in the direction of Game 2.
I wonder what the AD carry is going to be, because we've seen some Varuses with lethality to kind of combat a lot of the range coming through in these lanes. You could also go Comet Ashe, but okay. It's going to be the Ashe.
Good call, Raz.
We've seen a lot of Ashe Tahm Kenches out there, and so Comet Ashe is one of those lanes that can fight back against the Caitlyn.
I think we saw a Blade of the Ruin King lethality Ashe the other day, but Comet has always been the go-to, and Kane to pick it up this time around, but means that SofM will not be picking up the Silas here in Game 2.
There we go. Going to be excited to see how LNG ends up drafting towards the jungle. You're right, with Silas banned out. I'm looking towards, I was about to say Sejuani.
What else?
Like LNG is just going to take that away. I mean, Olaf is still up and available. It's still an option here.
Yep. Jarvan's still there as well, if Yihan wants to pick that up a second game.
That's true. Remember, OMG gets the first pick of the litter when it comes to the jungle.
Yep.
So they could just lock in a jungle and make it so LNG would have to respond. Both of them are pretty good Lee Sin players as well within their careers.
Yeah, you mentioned in game one, we didn't get to see it, but maybe this opens it up here. Kennen going to be the final ban away from OMG, and Flande doesn't get to show up on that champion yet again.
Well, I did mention it within the first series. The first series also had 2 Lee Sin players, Ben 4 and all that. But this one, we just literally had 2 series, 4 teams that have Lee Sin players in their career. That's the LPL, man.
Yeah.
You come into the LPL, a lot of these guys are just, yeah, I'm coming in as a Lee Sin player.
Yeah.
Lee Sin player.
That's why it sounded so familiar. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But Vladimir going to be the ban, so still open and available here for this second pick phase. But we'll see because, yep, Aatrox is there. Plex might not be getting it this game.
OMG, I would love for them to have an AP jungler involved. I think that's where we're getting pushed into. A Gragas is a possibility. I know they're going to be hovering the Jarvan. Makes a lot of sense, but remember this risk involved is that you have Aurelia, Jarvan, likely a Bruiser top laner. You saw the Aatrox being hovered, and once again, you have a full AD composition.
Jarvan the go-to instead, and that's just going to be back to comfort for Yihan.
Lock it in.
What goes well?
I just want to see SofM's Lee Sin, please.
Aatrox could still be for Plex. SofM does play it, but that could just be mid lane.
We're going to see the full composition one way or another. 25 seconds or whatever. Having that conversation with SofM, what do you want to pick in this situation? We already have AP coming in from the Akali and Lux. You already have a pretty damn good AD balance with Aatrox and Caitlyn. You can do what you want. The world is your oyster, goddammit.
You got great skirmishing already. Why not do this? 5 seconds and Lee Sin.
Yes!
We get what we want. SofM Game 2, Lee Sin, right there.
I always get what I want.
Yeah, you do. Well deserved. SofM kicked ass in Game 1, and now he's literally going to kick ass in Game 2.
We'll have to see what Curse ends up going for here. I already talked about how they're incredibly AD heavy, so they go for a Rise up top lane.
Yep.
Pretty good matchup into both the Akali and the Aatrox here. So remember the nerf, I would say change. I'll say change that happened to Rise is the fact that Rune Prison is much harder to get off. It is a slow unless if you empower it, meaning that you just go phase rush now.
Yep.
You don't end up going into Aftershock. You can go into Comet. There are times in which you can do that, but phase rush makes a lot more sense. But the outright damage has been boosted. So you actually just have a lot more damage in your combos. So, and the splash damage too.
Yeah.
You can wave clear a lot easier. So I want to see who ends up picking it up. Looks like it's going to be Guoguo.
Oh, into the mid lane. Okay, Guoguo, his champion pool increases, Raz. So good to see the Aurelia Game 1 and the rise into Game 2. Returning back into the LPL in style, and he's going to have be a stylish person coming into Game 2 to take us forward.
I want to see what ends up happening here. I mean, even though it's Guoguo picking it up, I want to see what matchup he wants to pick himself into. Because at the end of the day, I mean, both matchups look great for him. And Rise is always that type that, you know, you have to watch out for. Not a lot of people are picking it up, but he still has all the things you know and love. He can change certain matchups with how splash damage currently operates. Rod of Ages is now cheaper, which is now, of course, just, you know, a lot more gold efficient early on.
We've seen a lot of people picking that up as the first option.
I think I remember hearing 97% gold efficient at the first stack, literally minute 1. If that's the case, then there is no concern other than just literally having Catalyst and Tier early on. But, I mean, your Rise, you should be fine. And throwing yourself into the side lane is going to be even better. So, want to see what we get out of this pick going into Plex's Akali.
Yeah. We get to see this man on yet another champion. He's also got a very wide champion pool here in the LPL, so Plex has been a standout so far. And for LNG, that mid 2v2 is going to hurt at level 6. Let's see if OMG can withstand the pain here in Game 2.
Come on, OMG fans. I'm just waiting for you now. Oh.
there. Now, of course, when we are over at Chongqing at the home arena of LNG, as LGD gets a louder chant than all two combined. There is a different Jayo there, but here in Chengdu, sticking to the El Clasico. As you were talking in Champs, like it is going to be the phase rush on Guoguo's Rise.
Yeah, you see it far more often. There's literally no reason to go Aftershock now if you're just going to be committing to the Empowered Rune Prism.
Yep.
But now what you have to start respecting is just the wave clear that Rise has really early on, with the splash damage just being that easy as it is. So something you got to have to focus on now. Easier to trade through the wave to be able to get the damage through Plex. Started with W.
Just the usual here for Rise. And
Point and click damage, of course, that makes sense.
Yep. Going to be the Electrocute on the Akali, so no fleet footwork. Dangerous lane, as I mentioned, at 6. And part to that point, SofM, when he gets kicked, I mean, that's like almost an instant kill if Yihan's not nearby.
Dangerous position for Asura and Duan. You can already see Jarvan going through full clear top. Oh no, actually, as I say that.
More dangerous for Chelly, it seems.
I was concerned for Asura because they're shoving in. Jarvan was in the area, but so much damage on Chelly now.
Fourth back, flash burnt in the engage. Will be a spellbook Tom Kench, but that's not going to mean too much. And the binding connects. One, just 2 for 2.
At least he was far away from that trap hitting.
Yeah.
But if that's what we're getting now, if this is the game, these are just going to start landing. We're in for real troubles for OMG.
That's a 10 CS lead already, and SofM's towards the bot side. Look at this, 1v1 with Yihan is so low. Sonic Wave doesn't connect though, so he's just going to cripple, walk away in the flag drag, trade back. SofM in a lot of trouble, even with Conqueror. The flash from Duan. He misses his first binding, but the flash from the jungle for trade.
All right, you might want to get out of there now. That's the type of plays you put on a highlight play. Lee Sin going in for an invade and missing his Q. But Kane, he invaded at the right time. That's all that matters. Timing counts.
And good timing to get out. Guoguo was coming down at the perfect time himself just to get there. And with water walking, he had the movement speed to find him. So close call again for the jungle of LNG, but there's no flash on the enemy jungle. Let's see how that gets abused here in the early game. Is Curse going to be the POV stream here for this game? And he's already under pressure in this top lane. Flande getting the shove as into the Aurelia. The Aatrox once again finds himself.
He's still playing this one out respectfully. He could have, fully pushed in to make sure that it was a, completely shoved in lane. But you can see just making a journey. Knew that his jungler was in the bot side of the map and didn't want to overcommit. It's going to be interesting though.
Just looking to deny the double scuttle. Or rather, one scuttle from Yihan.
The problem was the fact that Yihan could contest it, but Akali has the current shove in the lane right now versus the Rise.
Yep.
Rise doesn't have the mana to take any fights, so just really smart from Flande and Plex, recognizing that that was going to be possible.
But of course, our cameraman loves this bottom lane in this game, and why shouldn't he? We're back down to the 35 to 19 CS lane. Kane and Chelly stay at half health.
I love poke.
Yeah.
Every damage that hits a champion. Internally, I clap.
Oh. Every time Duan misses, Chelly and Kane, they clap too.
All right, I mean, sure.
I would. Dodging away from any ability down here, it's great. Look at that, 2 traps around the turret.
So this is just reality now, and it's going to suck.
Yeah.
How far behind they are in CS, how much it's suffering with the turret platings coming through. We're in pretty desperate need of Yihan to pay a visit to the bot side of the map. Mountain Dragon is up now too, so if we're just talking about who gets the better of all of this, LNG through that RNG alone.
But look, Raz, Curse has no mana in this top lane, and Flande hits Conqueror. Cameraman's like, no, it's bottom lane once again, never mind that. Trade fizzles out on the top side as the push comes through from Curse, but he's starting to win out in the trade too. You said Yihan needed to come down here, and he's going to get spotted out by a ward.
Yeah, really good ward.
But Asura baiting. Look at this. Yihan wasting his time.
Hurt me. Hit me.
Walks out into the lane. Asura and Duan like, yep. Doesn't matter what you do because we might 2v3.
Oh, man. Yeah, Jarvan's already out. And Lee Sin was just here to match him too.
Yep.
So both teams recognize the dangers of the situation.
Oh.
Unless if your name is Ash.
It's deja vu again. Look at where Lee Sin as well on top of the Jarvan as Chelly gets low. Looking for the kill. The Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike, and Yihan has to get out. SofM still has his flash, but that's an escape again. Level advantage, SofM.
He's doing a great job to set up his bottom lane to succeed.
This is the Lee Sin game you dream about.
Yeah. There's a little bit of danger there. Remember, Akali went back to base, so you can imagine Guoguo coming in to help. But they don't have any bit of information. Don't do it!
Teleport to a minion. What do we say? Don't do it. Devour comes through. Chelly followed because he's a nice support.
All right. We got ourselves some spellbook teleports here, too.
Yep. Making 3. Chelly walking towards Dragon while SofM was soloing this now. Bottom lane for LNG looking to help contest this, but Sonic Wave SofM might be caught out. Chelly going to get the Devour. Going to spit out the Lee Sin. SofM flashes. He escapes, but he Sonic Waves. Can't get the Dragon. That's a good contest from OMG.
Yes, it was.
He laughed. He shouldn't have. That was close.
Great roam from Chelly. He sniffed something. He knew something was up.
Yeah.
And he went to battle with that monk.
And it wasn't the smell of Tarm catch. Chelly getting that pick means that bottom lane's alleviated a little bit. The Ashe gets to breathe. A sigh of relief for a quick hot second as Asura teleports back down and Duan is well on his way.
Yeah, but Caitlyn being able to pick up the wave there too, so she's going to be able to put that back to near 20 CS lead.
Still big.
Problem is you still have dangers of losing the turret plating, so I still like the idea that Yihan had. Heading to the bottom side of the map, staying in the area, contesting for Mountain Dragon. Now they have it in their name. The problem is they still have to pay a lot of attention still to the bot side of the map. RNG God still said that, yeah, Infernal in 4 seconds. Bottom side pressure is still going to be incredibly important no matter how well Curse is playing this one out.
Yeah, we'll see you then, even though Curse is 30 CS in that top side. And at least this game, it'll feel like OMG's top versus LNG's bottom lane, because turret plating going over constantly, and that's the difference here. The CS might not be as large, but the turret plating on top is that extra 320 gold.
And I love that Executioner's calling pickup. He recognized he was heavily investing within the lane, of course in side lane pickups too. And he's been able to make a lot of hurt on towards Flande. Flande, as you said, he's really suffering within the lane matchup, but this is where, unfortunately, the focus is inevitably going to go.
Flande in the 1v1, just walking away. Curse getting out as well. Makes it difficult. Flande in a weak position. Not often that we talk about that, but
it's not a lot of times rookie talent comes in and is able to just be able to style on people. This has been the week for that, actually. Cube did a lot of work onto the Shy as well.
Yeah.
You're also seeing an opportunity for Curse to really make a name for himself this split.
Chance to do it in the second game. SofM trying to look to the bottom lane, however. Spotted out by a good hawk shot from the Ashe. Level 6 now on this bottom lane. For both bottom lanes, rather. And as we hit the 6 across Summoner's Rift, you can see junglers looking to get active down here once more.
Great control ward set up here for Jarvan, so at least he can hover just in case for a game. Giving them an opportunity to finally shove out in lane, so it's been able to slow this one down unless if SofM finds that kick.
Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, Binding doesn't connect. SofM goes in anyway. There's the flag and drag. The arrow locks him down. He gets a massive shield. SofM, they flush on top of him. They want him. They will get first blood, but that's an overcommit.
Okay.
That's too far forward. Flandre's here first. The Aurelia doesn't have the TP, so LNG take it all.
Double TP at the exact same damn time. Plex comes in and Flande at the flank. I feel bad for whoever was in the tummy of that Tom Kench because they got knocked up right quick by that Flande in the top side.
And the one lane for OMG that was winning out, that was taking over, that could have contested, is now down 2 kills, and the Aatrox is even after this big play.
So, of course, the setup is there, and you think that SofM is going to go down for free. Even the Ashe ultimate by Kane to make it happen, but the moment the teleport comes through from Flande, you knew what was going to happen. And also, Plex was able to take them in from the front, so really great job from LNG.
I thought about all the shielding that SofM received. It was his safeguard, but then I went, that's a massive shield. Where's that from? Duan pressed W.
Yeah.
And the Lux just gave him everything.
Lux shield is just huge.
It's too much. And now we're going to see it in action again as SofM has found his angle onto Curse. He's level 9. He's 1v3ing. The safeguard to get out. This is a good angle as Vanguard's edge comes out. And that was a nice escape.
Isn't it fun to go up against an Aurelia? No? Whenever you find those opportunities, that was really impressive. But we've been seeing a lot of, really impressive plays from Aurelius out there. Speaking of impressive, Flande has got to be able to get out of here, and I don't think he can.
The reverse dive going to come through, but this time Flande has to withstand it. The World Ender is not available, so underneath the turret, trying to take Chelly down. Shield's going to block some of it. He takes up one too many, though, goes golden. Just in time. Chelly survives, and the kill goes over to Yeehan.
Yeah, minute past 10 minutes, so they can use stopwatch. It's going straight up top lane.
Oh.
I think it's going to hit us, so...
Is it?
No, it's not. We're good.
It's a vision arrow. It gave us vision over the
I don't want to hear
Rift
those
Herald,
words.
but it's too late. I don't care. You're going to hear it anyway. SofM now, Rift Herald, head to the top side, and there's going to be a turret war.
All right, should be able to get top lane turret pretty easily. Sure, you should be able to get... Actually, I wonder. Do they get bot lane turret faster?
I think they
I want
do.
to see the top lane turret. Damn, no, it's 4 turret plates up top
Yeah.
lane. You're right. You should be able to get this one easily.
So first turret blood shared between Yeehan and Kane.
All right, that's pretty damn nice. The only thing I can say now is that LNG should be able to have shove here. Hello?
No, leave it. Where are you going, Asura? Oh, think about it. Head back. Yeah.
What the
Okay. What the heck was that?
There's a lot of question marks here. If I'm LNG,
Asura didn't really walk back. He was there the whole time.
but if I was LNG, you'd fully shove out top lane with the Rift Herald.
Yep.
Have it bounce through top lane turret, go into the enemy red side jungle, place down control wards, and then start to pressure through mid. But they bounced away from the top lane pretty quickly.
Especially with red buff coming up. So unfortunate here for LNG. Just going to be the back away for the Caitlyn. Which lane is Asura going to go to next? Because teleport used here by Kane. 80 carry moves to the mid lane. Who, by the way, is still down 30 CS.
I think it makes it easier for him to go back bot lane so they can attain some vision in their own red side jungle. Makes it easier. He's going straight mid though. I guess they're fine. You see the Aatrox already holding position there.
Infernal coming up second. Or third, excuse me. Bottom side going to be shoved out. And you can see in a longer lane here for OMG. They should be able to get priority as it comes around. But SofM finally moves to that red buff you were talking about and takes it away.
All right, so, I mean, good overall vision of the top side red side jungle. Yeah, Kane's getting hurt by these.
That's an Infinity Edge seal, and that is an ultimate. The final spark out from Duan.
Gotta watch out for SofM here. Has his Dragon Kick flash. Let's see if he has a ward. Yes, he has a trinket to his name, so he can make a kick possible. He's looking for the right lane to do it.
Standing on vision right now, though, on the enemy red side. So
Did he even see that?
he's blind.
Oh, that's true. Move along then.
You can sense it. Well, Guoguo sits in the bottom lane, so I don't mind this for OMG. The fact that this game is so well executed by LNG that the turnaround, the dragon takes, OMG mitigating some of those losses quite well.
I mean, right now, if you're OMG, looking towards Trinity Force, that one's going to be hard for Kane to pick up with how difficult the lane's been for him. That's kind of the toughest part for the Ashe build is when you start getting to that trough of your build, if you're not ahead of the pace in this as a team, as a composition, then you are in no man's land. You're really just there to be able to pick up ults for your team. Your damage is going to be really minimal, while Asura should be able to have his rapid fire cannon too. So those are the concerns that I have. And this.
Bang. Because if the game keeps going at this pace, I mean, Asura will have pretty much that third item. With the extra gold he'll get from Cole, with the 1,000 he picked up on turret floating.
That's some focused gold. He was up there alone, so that was the main motivation of them being alone with the turret, is being able to pick up all that gold.
I mean, that's 200 off the Zeal, and I mentioned the Cole there before. That's why I said probably the third item completed before that Trinity Force for Kane comes across.
He's 20 CS ahead. He has 12 CS until he get his Call 350 gold fully completed in his pocket.
Yep.
He's a very rich Caitlyn at this point.
Setting up the rest of the map as Yeehan just gets tagged by the Sonic Wave. Still a level behind OMG's jungler compared to SofM.
He was looking for that kick.
He wanted it. I mean, you feel it right now for your SofM. You haven't used it yet, Raz.
I mean,
Got to get out of your system.
At this stage, he's fine, man. I think he's been putting in a lot of good work for his team, supporting dual lane pretty easily.
Yeah.
The way he's been pathing early on to make it so Kane and Chelly really couldn't touch the wave for the most part has been nice. So early strategy from LNG has been strong. It's more so now what they will be able to accomplish in the mid game. Being able to take that top lane turret was easy with the Rift Herald that they throw down, but now being able to pick up mid and bot side with what is a pretty good siege comp. Siege pick with the Lux binding as well.
Yep.
Lee Sin kicks come through. That's excellent. Like, you can do a lot with this composition in a more open setting as well, so I'd love to see that once they set up for this mid lane turret.
Yeah, maybe even the Dragon coming up in a minute 10, because that's an Infernal, and LNG will not want to let that one go. As Arrow's going to come through onto Asura. Instant QSS that was picked up. Instead of finishing the Zeal, pays for itself.
There we go. You're right about it paying for itself, right? Like, just like that. All that gold he amounted for a great QSS pick. I was a little concerned. A lot of the times when you go up against an Ashe, you go into cleanse, but you don't see it here. He wanted to have the teleport, and he knew he'd go towards QSS, so easy.
Survived the lane up until now. The first time is Asura doesn't have the safety net, but nets outside. That was so easily done. Trap on top of Yihan. The final spark saved away by Chelly. A great devour by the time Kench's teleport expended here from LNG's Plex.
All right, that was a ballsy play from Jarvan. Asura still had his flash and 90 caliber net. He literally had everything. He was never going to be threatened in that situation. Guoguo though, okay.
Ooh, half health SofM. Remember, the Rise has Rod of Ages now with Pierce, so he can start chunking away at those health bars.
I mean, all this pressure that they had in the adjacent lanes of Dragon gave them this pressure.
Yep.
Don't know what OMG is going to be doing. They're not going to be able to get a second Infernal for themselves unless if it's a steal.
And they can't push mid turret. The wave's not going to be ready there as well, so double Infernal potential out the wayside. A Mountain coming up next, so we got the best of them here in game 2.
Really, that was just weird from Yihan.
Yeah.
The fact that he went for that engage as Dragon was coming up on a target that could easily get out without taking too much damage and put himself right in harm's way. It's really what it was. So, we lose out quite a bit for that one. Next Dragon's going to be Mountain, so should be a heavy bot side focus in this game until, of course, Baron comes into play.
Yeah. Well, trying to clear out the turret. This is good for Flande, though. Bot side, turret, gone. Yeah, minion wave finishes off just in time. So that's some gold over to Flande, too, who's just been quietly matching Guoguo for the past 5 minutes.
Good reason. I mean, the fact that his early lane had been really rough, he's just been trying to get some gold, keep his head down. A lot of the focus is on Asura and Duan, and for good reason. Flande is just waiting for that team fight to come through. He's been slow pushing so he can finally come into fight strong.
Also, the 2-item Aatrox. Remember that the Death's Dance is a core item on him now. And it just makes him unstoppable. 9-13 Aatrox still revives. The rest in peace hasn't been issued just yet. And Flande now grouping with the rest of the team, looking towards mid with SofM at the other flank angle.
He's close. Let's see what he gets.
Oh, the kick. Where does he send it? He sends it against all 2-man in the end. Chelly gets knocked up as Flande finally joins the fight. Doesn't need that second item. It happens in an instant. SofM even survives, and Yihan getting hit up by Flande. The Vanguard's edge is in, but Asura just blocks away as Plex almost dies on the outlier. Flande slowed down. And OMG looking for something, but they get torn apart again.
I want to see the... Okay, defend your man.
Guoguo, you're a hero. A true patriot is to save the Jarvan, yes, but not the turret.
That one was an interesting fight. I want to see it one more time because you're right. SofM kick went in a weird direction. Flash came through from the Jarvan, so he was well protected at the end, but it was Flande that drove right through. Got the reset and was a real menace to the team fight alongside Plex.
Because he held on to it for so long, just waited for the moment where summoners were burnt for nothing. And then that core ultimate opened the fight wide open and pretty much ended it before we got to see what happened.
At the end of the day, we just needed to see, an engage.
Where is
this? Was the engage. Oh. I think I like that flag drag was interesting because it was supposed to nail Lee Sin, get him knocked up so that engage would actually be nullified. That was the ultimate goal that Yihan was going for, but the overall fight still goes through to the benefit of LNG.
And Asura is an afterthought because there's so much that OMG has to deal with that Asura sits there and free fires. Remember, the most fed member at the moment seems to be this Caitlyn. So for LNG, they get access to the rest of the comp, and 3k gold up now after that fight. Mountains coming up, remember, and the more control means more access to neutral objectives like this Dragon and later on this Baron.
I want to see what LNG has in mind here. We saw what happened last game when both Dragons and the Baron itself were valuable. EDG were able to play through both objectives pretty cleanly with the control wars that they had, and I want to see if LNG can do the same. They're starting to clear out vision, and they have this, the Scuttle Crab picked up in the top side. but the manpower should be on the bottom side of the map, as you can already see.
World Ender versus Vanguard's Edge. Gets the dunk
Wait a
for
minute.
Curse. Regrets, I think he'll find. Ace in the hole. The insult to injury. Flande, let's call it a quote-unquote solo kill.
Flande just had that easily.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes SofM.
Chelly going to be slowed down. They've found their pick again. Plex has the ulti, the perfect execution. Kane launches the arrow, but swiped through. Plex hits him again, and a double binding from Duan. You know this fight is over. Yeehan tag, and yeehaw goes SofM. LNG, again, it's the full sweep.
They're just smacking them. Plex and SofM on the back end, too. How quick did this game just devolve?
LNG played with the tempo given, and now it takes them straight to Baron while Flande gets the turret in. Raz, it's impressive to see that LNG are right back in that position.
Yeah, I mean, a few things happened, right? I mean, LNG really caught a lot of pressure when bot side Flande had a 1v1. And so you look towards Curse and you question, why did he pick up that fight to begin with? Overconfidence? Sure. But they knew that that side of the map was heavily controlled by LNG, so at the very least, you're going to be rolled up on by a few members. And then there were, you know, mid lane side when Tom Kench was easily picked up. So take a look at this side. This is the 1v1 that we'll call a solo kill. It's not going to count in the stats. The stat books will say otherwise. But history, you watch the VOD itself, and you didn't need no. Yeah, you didn't need this guy.
Cheating. The final spark was even used, but this is the fight I'm curious in, right?
Plex rolls in from the top lane. And the sad role of the Tom Kench is that you think you've been able to save your friend, but you know he's dead. With certainty, Plex is going to be able to wait out the Tom Kench devour. And then from this point forward, I mean, Guoguo realized it doesn't matter how much DPS he has in this one, there's just far too many members.
I was noticing the vision. There was a gap in vision through the top side that Plex just walks down, and it's just showing the lack of control OMG have with LNG controlling that full Baron side. So it becomes difficult at this point because LNG, yeah, that's close. Let's try that again.
What was that?
That was the damage grab, but we got the bottom end of it. Yeah,
he's up. He's up.
Bring
How
up
you
the
doing?
Colonel. That'll fix it.
The Colonel is who we wanted anyways. 85%, no, 86%.
Yeah, he's going up, Raz. Each turret, that's a percent.
Oh my god, please stop it.
Did it go down by 0.1?
I have no idea.
Okay. OMG did something right. That's what brought the Colonel. He's like, okay, maybe. I'd be going up if I were you, Colonel, because Flande are down the bottom side now looking for the 1v4 outplay. Kane has the arrow, launches onto it, but look, SofM and Duan are coming in, and Flande hasn't died.
Okay.
They come on in for the engage, and Plex into the backside. OMG are routed. LNG now just getting star points. They run up to Guoguo. Here goes Golden. SofM laughs in the face of danger. LNG do it again and again and again.
Salute to Plex on that one. Came in and saved Captain Flande, who was, looked like a 1v5. Sent so many members at him. But then Plex comes through and then just eviscerates him with the squad.
In the past, we've asked, is it too early to believe in Snake, now LNG? I have to say, each and every series we see them, they look better and better and better themselves. Adding more style kills seems to be the works. SofM will drop down here, but it's too late for OMG. The Nexus now targeted. They're all up, but Duan and Plex work their magic. And another 2-0 in the bags for LNG.
They are the ones that made the visit. They made the travel over from Chongqing to Chengdu, and they get the job done. You know, it's funny. You talk to a few members, whenever it comes to sports teams in China, they talk about how there is a rivalry between Chengdu and Chongqing. And they also expect it to, you know, traverse to League of Legends as well. You know, the fact that LNG and OMG, perhaps they're going to get to a level in which they're on equal footing and that they're going to be rivals. But you know who is never rivals? The Hammer and the Stake. You can't be a rival if you're just going to be you're getting hit all the time. It's not possible. And OMG just got smacked up this series.
Oh, they did. Good attempts made, but at every corner shut down by LNG. And I have to say once again, I mean, SofM was there. He made that game happen. He made this series happen for LNG.
It's real fun to be able to see it happen. I mean, SofM, he's a player that you always want to track, see his success, the new team that he has around him. I mean, you always have Flande alongside with you. But it's the new added members, man. We talk about them all the time, and it's really traversed into real success here. Take a look at it.
I mean, look at that. There's even a highlight around 10K. It's showing you how much it ran out of control in the end.
Whew.
That's just a special highlight.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we already talked about that range in which everything went wrong at once.
Yeah.
And it really goes to show about, overall communication, leadership discussions that go on within the team at the time, because for Curse to go into that 1v1, he had faith he could take it. I mean, it just comes down to the calculation was wrong. But then not being able to track Plex, who had shoved through top lane and then roamed in the mid lane and be able to find those kills, that was the bigger oversight.
Yep.
And so Plex got a lot of opportunities through those fights, and it's nice to be able to see that in game 1, SofM picks up MVP. We'll see who ends up getting it up in this game. My vote would be for Plex with how well he was able to play with the bot side.
I'd be happy with the bot side itself, though. I mean, the Caitlyn Lux, we've constantly seen this in the LPL, and the kill lane, the threat. Poor Kane and Chelly. They didn't really get to play.
They did not.
Especially
the Ashe. He's like, well, I'm still building that Trinity. Don't worry about it, guys.
Relevant.
I'm gonna get there.
Yeah. And to be
I'm
fair,
gonna get there somehow.
Kane had some, half decent arrows there as well, but that's all you can hope for.
Yeah, I mean, true, very true. And the Tom Kench had some great devours. But guess who's sticky? Who's always going to find you, no matter what? Place down that shroud. Plex was on the job.
That's right.
And then this is the type of LNG you want to see in the next few series. And we talked about how tough it's going to be from here on out for the team. And the fact that they have to go through, wow, I just can't find the window. But I already have it in my memory, so we're fine here.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they have to get through FPX on that one as well, RNG, these are really tough teams that they're going to have to really deal with. And I think that this current one, the one we saw, is going to make for a fantastic series.
Because I know a lot of the hype died down for LNG specifically when they're going up against teams like EDG. This series against EDG, I know the hype died down because we're brought back to reality of LNG.
Yeah, and one thing that we have to remember is that this team is still relatively new. 100% SofM and Flande have been there forever. Plex is the one that came in and had to be coming into this environment, having to learn the language. That's always incredibly difficult, or at least learn the system within the team. With the coach who's been there in Kenji for a long time. And the bottom side of the map, that's also a new portion of the map. Asura has been there a while for Duan. So the synergy is going to draw mistakes. That's for certain. But it's more about the end product that I care about. Will they get into playoffs? It seems very likely. How well will they do in playoffs? That's a real important one, because a team that didn't pick up any points in Spring Split and are still trying to vie for Worlds, you really need to be able to put on consistent pressure. The end goal matters.
Yes.
Because remember, that horror story is Griffin of last year, because they went into the summer split, they looked like the strongest team, failed in finals, they had to go through the gauntlet, and we all know what happened there.
Yeah.
And so for teams that are just having that one burst of performance, JD was last year too, you need to be able to get the job done at the very end. And for LNG, at least they're getting there.
Take away what you can from this series, though. LNG, definitely a top-tier team at the moment in the LPL. Showcase that over OMG. And I think for me, coming to OMG, my biggest highlight was always Curse. And in this series, there were parts I could talk about Curse, but never got off the ground just due to the way LNG were.
Well, look, at the end of the day, in Spring Split, they had Ale. You know what we said about Ale?
He was good.
He was a great talent.
Yeah.
Personally, I would say both Curse and Ale are same tiers of talent.
Yeah.
If I were to come straight down to just raw mechanics, I like Ale a little bit more. But the problem is never mechanics with the team. They've had Icon for quite some time. Their bottom lane had some great moments in terms of, remember, there was that one game where the Ashe Enchanted Arrow was landing cross-snap multiple times, and they still just squeaked out a win on that one.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they need to address the elephant in the room, and that's the overall strategy and communication within the team. Vision control consistently lacking whenever it matters. They've been swapping out supports a lot of the time, but at the end of the day, it just needs to be coming in from head office, coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's something that really need a lot of work for OMG. So we'll see. They still have a long road. They still have, they're trying to fight for playoffs, but for now, it's more of a developmental split for me.
Yeah, you're looking at, 2020, you're looking at 2020 summer as a potential for a team like OMG, even spring, to showcase more of the talent. Because I'm excited about Curse, I still am. I know me and Clement feel especially passionate about this player, because he's just a god in his own right. So was Ale. I hope they keep it. I hope he doesn't. I
For
hope
Curse, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just need to keep a roster. The biggest problem, in my opinion, for OMG is that for the longest time they had that rotating jungle roster, and then they went right back to World 6.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I mean, I really loved World 6. I think World 6, when he started out, this was like in 2017, was a great jungler, and he had some like up and down moments, reminded me a lot of MLXG once again.
Yeah.
In the sense that he seemed like at the time a coin flip player, and how his early games, if they succeeded, he looked like an amazing player.
Yep.
He really just kind of pressed his boot down in the throat on certain opponents. And if he didn't have a great early game, I mean, if he went for that gambit invade and failed, you know,
what next?
those are the kind of games you like, and that's how you feel about it. But I feel like he came back, a lot more experience underneath him. Now they're bringing in Yihan. They just need to find like consistent jungle talent and a direction to play.
Yeah, the road goes on for OMG, but for LNG, maybe, you know, it's not dirt road anymore. It looks tarred, gravel. You know, yeah. MVP for game 2. Don't look at me like that. SofM. Now, I'm still happy about this one. I got to see his Lee Sin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy with it.
You wanted, I know you wanted Plex.
Look, I did.
You can't
I
always
want
win.
Plex. I want Plex. But
it's not
we got
Rob.
to see SofM lock in Lee Sin. He
Yes.
get MVP for that one alone. He found a lot of opportunities to get an engage. I mean, we didn't really get to see a good one nailed down. You know who I would say the MVP of this specific fight was?
Plex who comes down.
Yep, it was Plex who's my MVP for this one. A little bit of Flande too.
Yeah.
But I guess we're using this one for SofM. Let me see the next one and see if I can judge that one harshly too.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
Oh yeah, let's see what this kick.
So did you like the kick?
No.
Okay.
Because you know who the MVP of this one was?
Chelly.
It was Flande.
Flande. Well, I mean, yeah, technically Chelly, but yeah, Flande.
You trying to say something about Chelly?
No, I'm saying Chelly saved his 80 carry until his 80 carry was dead.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You know who the MVP of this one is?
Not SofM.
It was Plex.
I'm getting good at this.
That's Plex.
Oh, okay.
So, like, this is one of those moments that we're trying really hard to give SofM his just dues, but every replay, for good reason, only supports my claim.
Yeah,
for
he got a double kill there. That's good. Plex deserved it. You're getting upset about MVPs recently. Like,
What was that?
This is a week.
What was that?
This is a week where you.
But like,
3 times.
SofM is a great player. He's gonna deserve all the acclaims he got in Game 1. That MVP 100% deserved to him.
But Game 2.
Game 2,
The
give
butt,
Plex his
everything
dues.
before the butt.
Give Plex his
doesn't
dues. Give it. Flandre, I actually would have accepted too. If
Yeah.
we're doing it by tier list,
Plex, Flandre. I then go Asura.
you're going too far now.
Oh, sorry, Duan. No, SofM's 4.
I'm not as harsh as him. I'd put SofM as 3.
harsh.
But he had a great game. He had a great game ultimately. I think LNG just stomped them. And whenever you have games like these, it does feel like more of a team performance. It reminds me of EDG. When EDG finds wins like they did earlier today,
Yeah.
you do struggle to find who gets that big MVP chip, because they not only did they work well as a squad,
Yeah.
everyone played their part in team fights. This one was more individually forced, which is why I have my opinion on that one. But still, great job from LNG. And would love to see this in the future for them.
Yep. Hopefully the road continues on, as I said before. However, that's it for us today. Let's take a look at standings, because LNG with that win, they rise 6-3, aligned with EDG, IG, and even Top Esports.
Welcome to the 6-3 club. I mean, a top needs to play more games.
Yep.
They need to lose 2 more games to welcome to this club. This is the special 6-3 club that only exists for the good teams.
I mean, RNG are on that level as well, right? We haven't seen much of RNG. They've only played 6.
Yeah, so that's when you usually get them stockpile later on in the split, which is going to be fine. Something we need to pay attention to is FPX is undefeated. Whenever we have these splits, right? Invictus Gaming last year, always riding on that line and then just losing that one series.
RNG, yeah.
And you're just like, please, just get it going for me now. FPX, they have the sole responsibility. 15-0.
Yes.
That's all I want. 15-0.
Last split, then they lost two series, so.
I'm not asking for much. Just make history happen.
Okay.
EDG had a perfect series, which
Yep.
I mean they would tie with, but I
Well.
want to be able to see and get that going. But of course, you go for
OMG
it.
have to go again tomorrow, Raz. You know what? They haven't played enough games, so they'll be going up against Vici. Not tomorrow, Friday. Excuse me. I
yes.
just realized today is Wednesday.
Yep.
I've been thrown off by an extra day, but Top Esports, they're going to play one of their extra games against LGD.
And this is the one I'm really afraid of. Top Esports last time around, I think it was last split, lost a series to dominance when they really shouldn't have, right? They were a better team at the time. But at the end of the day, there are some teams in this league that can slip you up, and LGD is that team.
Yeah.
They're a hell of a good team. You look towards Kramer and Yuki, they will find wins for you. So, but when we come back,
yeah, we're talking big matches. Sooning Rogue Warriors, like that'll be your starter, and even then that's juicy.
Yeah, heavy hitters. You want to be able to see if, Rogue Warriors are really worth it. And if Suning can continue to be able to ride that line, SMLZ is looking good, but you still have that juicy ending. That main event match, our match of the week of RNG versus EDG.
Oh, please give it to me. This is what dreams are made of. And just thinking about this, I mean, I go home, I sleep happy, knowing that this is in the near future. So coming up on Saturday, our second matchup, and RNG EDG, the history, the 2018 spring final, which I hella enjoyed.
We had a lot of finals, not even like it was just EDG versus RNG. It was just the Chinese community joke, well, a joke at all if you watch the LPL, that at the end of the day, doesn't matter how poorly RNG starts a split, how badly EDG look at the beginning as well. When you get to the finals, it's going to be an EDG versus RNG finals. Well, that hasn't been true recently with IG success.
Hey, we changed history last.
Are you pointing at me? I'm trying to point at you.
Yeah, I'm just pointing back at you.
But you're right.
It back.
We've definitely changed in the recent finals of Invictus Gaming, just being that team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, EDG's been part of the LPL history for so long, so you want to be able to see them at least compete the best.
Like they did today against B5. However, that's it for us. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you to Raz for dealing with me as always. And our production team, it is bye for now, but not forever. We'll see you back on Saturday.